And you can find that cut, sorry, I thought my thumb was tucked away in it, on page 30. And I'm cutting it at, I cut it out at 4 1/4 each piece. The paper that I'm using today is by Bo Bunny. It's called their Crush Collection, and there's lots of pretty papers in here to use. So the one that we're going to use for our card today, background paper, is this one here. And you see you get a whole bunch of little scraps left over that you can use for other cards later. We're going to use craft cardstock, so we're making an A2 size card, and as well some glittered cardstock, and Martha Stewart punch, Van Dyke brown for inking, silver stickles, and as well this Making Memories rubber stamp that says happiness, and some foam dots. I don't need to show you those. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just fold my card to make the A2 size. And I'm going to trim out this paper. Now I'm actually, to get best use out of my scraps, I'm going to actually trim this to 5 1/4 first, and then I'm going to do 4 1/4 this way, just so you get nice scraps to work with for future cards to make the most of your paper. So this should, oh, I must have cut it out at 4 1/2, there. That's better. Okay, and so there's our background. Now I don't know, I've replaced the blade of my Martha Stewart trimmer, but it still doesn't seem to be cutting properly. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyways, we'll ink the edges just to give it a distressed look. And sometimes I use the sponge, other times I just ink right off the ink pad. Today's one of those days I'm just going to go right off the ink pad. Okay, then I have this paper here that is cut to be just to hold the dress form nicely, and then I'm going to use this punch. Now this is one that I'm ashamed to say has been in my stash and I haven't really used. So since 2012 is all about using my stash, I am on a mission to use it today. And look at what I have in new ways. Okay, so it does give a really pretty nice finish here. So then the next step is to do the dress form. So as I said, this was cut out at 4 1/4 inches, and I've actually glued together 4 layers of cardstock to give it a chipboard feel for when I put it onto the card. Then I cut the dress out at the same size, and we're just going to glue that down. So I'll just use my glue pen to do that. There we go. Okay, and then the next is the layers. So again, cut out at the same size so everything fits up nicely, and glue that down, and there's the top. Now with this cut, you can cut a little tiny, it cuts out with the dress form a little tiny buckle, but that's next to impossible when you're cutting it out at this size to make it work. So what I just decided to do was use some bling for the belt. So I'm just actually going to do the pop dotting of this now. And I'm also going to pop dot up this layer. And I'm going to work on the card front first. Okay, now I'm going to use some black ribbon. That's the one thing I forgot to say that we were going to use for this today. So some black ribbon, just for an accent, and I'm just going to use my ATG to get this done. And so now I can adhere the glitter paper, and this paper was left over from my Christmas cards, which was kind of nice because it's always fun to be able to use up those scraps as well. So I got those all off. I'm going to put this down onto the center here. Now I'm going to attempt to tie a bow on camera. We'll see how this goes, because it always seems like when I try to do something for the first time, or in real time for you to watch, I end up messing up. But that actually worked out quite well. So I'm going to just now trim that off. There we go. Okay, and the next step is to put the dress form down on the center. And the idea with this is that it could be a Valentine's Day card, but the reason why I chose the happiness stamp is I'm having a lot of fun using my Valentine's Day stash for these cards, but there's only so many Valentine's Day cards that a person needs. So I'm just going to keep them a little bit more holiday neutral. So I have this Recollections bling, and I'm going to take 4 of them. And that's what I use for the necklace, and hopefully maybe I only need 3. Come on. Oh. Well, maybe the necklace is only going to have 2 beads. Okay, and then, as I was saying, the bling. So what I'm going to do first is, just to draw emphasis, I am going to stickle above the dress line, and I'm going to stickle below gap line. There we go. Hopefully I didn't get my head in there. And I'm going to use my quick dry adhesive to put that on there. Okay, and then the next step is to do the bling in the center. So I'm going to use this silver. This is from Michael's dollar section, and I'm just going to put that in the center where the buckle would be. And I'm going to put some bling on each side like so. And I wasn't thinking when I did this, and I didn't adhere my card front down, so I'm going to work backwards since I have those stickles on there. And stick this down. Stick that down. And then the last part is a sentiment. And I think I've shared this in a video before, but I have this box of cuts that I make sometimes when I just have a few minutes in my room, so that when I come in, I can use a sentiment. So we're going to use this one here. This is from the Fabulous Finds Cricut Cartridge. It's an oldie, but a goodie. So they're all ready to go. So I want to center this. There we go. And I am just going to take my inker and just ink the edges just to give a bit of dimension. And there's the completed card. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Let's Get Crafty, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.